Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bringing you guys some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Crossing. We finally have the ultimate beginner guide video. So we're going to be going over a lot of different things in the game to get all of you new global players started here for global release. We're going to be using the JP version as a template to kind of go through a lot of different things. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but as you guys know, if you've been following this channel for a long time, I like to dive deep into the game's content to discuss a lot of things in a lot of great detail, maybe some things a little bit too much detail, but you know what? You're going to walk away from this video knowing a lot of information about the game that's going to hopefully get you a great jump start when global release drops. Now, I will be doing other guides as well, taking some of the different aspects of the game and really diving into them even more, and dedicating a video to those separately, including a reroll guide video on how to reroll, which is pretty simple, but we'll go over it, and who to reroll for, and what the, I guess you could say the temporary global tier list would be as well. So we'll go over a lot of those videos over the course of the next couple days. But I wanted to get the beginner guide video out because I know a lot of you are going to be relying on this more so than a lot of other things. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you first start the game and you jump in and you do your tutorials, you'll get your tutorial multi in. It'll make you do a few tutorials through story mode and stuff like that. And when it's all said and done and you get through your tutorial, you're going to be here in the Boar Hat, which when I recorded this video before, I called it the Boar Hut for some reason. I don't know why. So rip the dream. But Boar Hat, and when you're in the Boar Hat, you're probably looking at all these different menu options. You're probably scratching your head going, what WTF is going on here? There's so much stuff to take in. How do I possibly learn all this? It's actually pretty more simplified than you really think. So everything on the left side over here, you can see where I'm clicking. No matter if you're in a village or if you're in a Boar Hat, basically what these are basically like quick hotkeys, if you will, where you click them and it'll take you to that NPC area within whatever environment you're in. Like I said, it'll work for when you're in villages, when you're doing story modes and stuff like that, or of course when you're in here in the main lobby, in the Boar Hat, the bar, whatever you want to call it. So if I want to go cook, for example, I just click the knife and fork and it'll take me straight to Chef Bon. And Chef Bon will allow me to prepare some delicious gourmet meals that I can eat and feast on and give to my characters to increase relationship, which we'll go over that in a bit. Some people have asked me, it's very obvious, but it's kind of funny. Some people have missed this, but a lot of people are like, yo, bro, how do you know if when you click your first ingredient, if you have the second ingredient or even the third ingredient without going back and clicking through all of them mindlessly? Well, if you go down here to the bottom left side, to like I call it the menu, you can just see here at all the different meals that you can prepare and what different ingredients that you need. And you can see that quickly. So it's very fast and efficient. You can also prepare them as well to level those up, if you'd like, because you can actually level up your gourmet meals. You can level them up. So as you saw there, we just created some delicious gourmet food because we're hungry. So that's the process of cooking. And you're going to be using food for various different things, but we're going to be showing you one thing that you will need to use it for character development wise when we get into that portion of the video. Now, you also have your daily missions. Every gacha game has a daily missions, right? Well, you can actually grab your daily missions from here. You can turn them in or look to see which ones you have available. Another way to access your daily missions is actually the quest sheet down here at the very bottom, which I just clicked. And now what you have here is you have your stories. You have your main story, your side story, all those different quests on your first tab. And then your second tab, you have additional quests. Your third tab, you have dailies. These are your dailies. And then your fourth tab will be like different event missions, your lifetime achievements, stuff like that you're going to be basically working towards through the entirety of this game. You can also see here, if you go back to your story missions, you have all these different villages. You've got chapter 1, village 1, chapter 2, village 2, etc, etc. You guys get the idea. And what's really cool is when you 100% these, you get a whopping 30 gems, which is nice because that's basically a multi-summon in this game. So you definitely want to do these. We're going to get back to story more in a bit, but that's basically how questing is and where you get your quests. Now, if you look over here on the right side of your screen, you'll see that I have some quests already. Some are yellow, some are green, some are red, some are blue. So, red quests are basically saying that the quest is normal or hard difficulty. If it's blue, it's the same as red, but it's easy. It's easy difficulty, or just, just a basic side quest where you just go grab some food or go beat a very, low level, stage. So those are going to be blue. So blue and red are basically side quests, but it's just showing you the different difficulties. Red would be harder than blue. And then we have green. Green is your dailies, and yellow is your actual main mission, your main story quest. So there you guys go. That's how you do that. You can even take this and bring that up there to lower it, or do this, or you can just click it and make them just, just do it that way. Save you some time, right? So that's how you do that. And of course, we got a boss ready to pop up. So we'll be talking about those later on as well. Don't worry. So now you guys know what the left side's all about. The left side is basically just hotkeys to go to different locations within whatever environment you're in. The top right, of course, is your quests, stuff like that, which is very, very cool. And by the way, you can just click your quest and it'll take you to that quest location, which is very, very nice, kind of like some MMOs you guys and gals may have played. Now, the top of your screen, you have your main rank, which you can see here. My rank right now is 44. You can click and see some of your character's information. You can link it up to Google Play or email. It shows you, my ID and stuff like that, because that's the way to be, bro. It shows you your guild that you're in. Now, Global may not have enough chapters of story to unlock guild, because you have to have, I believe, chapter 6 unlocked, and I don't know if they're going to give us 6 story chapters at launch, so I'm not really going to cover guilds right now in this video. If they do release it, I will cover guilds in a later video, so don't worry, guys. I'm not going to just skip over it. But it shows you some of your various resources of stuff that you have available right now. Like, for example, we have 5 of 10 keys left, which I'll show you what those are for. We have 5 PvP tries available right now. And then, of course, you can click this too, and it'll show you how you're doing in all the different story chapters. And then what your current buffs and stuff like that are right now. So, very, very cool stuff there. Also, up there in the top, you have your username, how much stamina you have available. Up in the right side, you have your gold available and your gems. Now, your gems are your premium currency. You can use those to purchase costumes in the game that have stats. So if you are building up a certain character and you want to get them a cool costume, and you have 30 gems laying around that you don't consider, that you don't need to save up. Sometimes it's a little bit more than that. Sometimes it might be a little bit less, depending on what's going on. But you can buy costumes for your characters that have additional stat increases. So you could do that as well. Of course, you can use those for your summoning in the game. You can use those to recharge stamina, which I highly recommend not doing. I made a video before this basically stating some mistakes that early game players might make and to avoid. And using gems for stamina is definitely one of those things that you do not want to do. So please don't do that, okay? So I think the main game UI, I think we pretty much established the top side, the left, and the right. Now we got to get to the bottom right, and then the rest of the options on the very bottom. So the very bottom right here, I'm not going to go over this one here because that's guild. That's going to allow you to go to guilds. And right now, like I said, I don't know if guilds are going to come on global at release, so I will go into guilds at a later time. But that's what that icon is. You also got your chat icon too if you guys are feeling it. We also have the world. Now, when you click the world tab, it's going to basically just take you to basically story mode. And this is where you're going to be doing all your different chapters. You can see here, it'll show you your chapter's village. It'll be dead center. And then you have all the different areas around it that they want you to farm up and beat to progress through certain quests and to farm up some of your resources that you're going to need for character advancement, even gear that you can farm up. Get food and stuff like that. So all your good little drops. It's very, very cool. You also have boss stages like over here. You even have stages to get to the PvP, or you can go to PvP another way, which I'll show you in a moment. So this is pretty much just, story mode, pretty much, when you click world. Now you can click chapter when you're in here, and this will allow you to go to, go back to previous chapters if you'd like, or go to chapters you've just unlocked, if you'd like. So we got chapter 1 right now, and then there's chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm on chapter 7 right now, personally. But you can see here, I just jumped to another chapter. It's a little bit different, as you can see here. And if you see like a exclamation point on one of those areas, that's basically saying that that's where you have a quest to do. It'll be red, blue, it'll be green, or it'll be yellow. So that's just a quick way if you just want to jump. But a lot of people is just going to click the quest itself and let it take you right where you need to go. You'll also notice that there's some areas that are locked on certain chapters. It'll have a lock symbol. That means I have not progressed far enough in that chapter story, mission-wise, to unlock it. Some of them are locked behind hearts. You're probably wondering, what do these hearts mean? There's up to 5 of them. Like I said, as you progress doing story missions, the villagers will give you like, kind of like rep. It's kind of like reputation. So basically 5 hearts would be max reputation. And every mission that you do will give you a certain amount. I'll actually show you an example of that right now. Let me just go ahead and turn this mission in. Alright. So, and then we'll grab a new one. Let me turn in another one because I forgot those are automatic. Alright. Let me see if I have one I can turn in for you guys. Let me actually... Hold on. Let's go down here. I'll show you guys one real quick. A good example. So let's go to an area I've not done enough of. All right, let's go here. Let's go grab a quest. We're going to grab a quest, and I'm going to show you what I mean by the reputation thing. We can also talk a little bit about how it looks when you're in a village, too. So we'll knock out 2 birds with 1 stone here. So this is what it's going to look like when you first enter a village. And like I said, there's a village in every chapter. And this is where you're going to be grabbing quests from NPCs. They'll have an exclamation point above their heads. If you see like an exclamation point somewhere on your screen like this, you can actually click it anywhere on the screen and it'll walk you right to that NPC. Very, very handy. Alright, so we're going to skip that and we're going to accept the quest. And you're going to see here above that, it says EXP, your reputation, EXP, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get 1,200. 1,200 if we complete this quest plus these other various rewards. So we're going to go ahead and just accept that. Now it's going to be added over here. It's going to say new. If I go over and grab another one, that won't say new no more. It'll be the new one that says new. You click up here. It'll show you how much EXP that you need to get the next heart level. So we're at 1,500. I need 12,000 to get to level 4. Now, why is it important to, obviously you're going to get 30 gems for 5 hearting every chapter, so you definitely want to do that for the free gems. Also, all the other various rewards from doing story and quests like that, I highly recommend going through story as one of your primary things to do in this game, on top of course trying to get to PvP as soon as possible for ungeared, which we're going to talk about later as well, because you also get a lot of your gems weekly from that. But yeah, a big reason though, besides getting the gems to 5-star, these different levels, is there's going to be a lot of resources in this game that you can actually just go to a shop and purchase it with gold. So it takes a lot of your farming hassle out of the way, because then you can focus more on just getting a lot of gold and then go back to these shops after every reset and just buy the maximum amount of inventory and just keep rinsing and repeating that process until you have a nice stockpile of resources that you can use on the game for developing your characters and stuff like that and gear. So it's very, very cool. So let's go over here. For example, I'll show you what it looks like. We're going to go to one of the shop NPCs, and by the way, again, you can just click right here, your hotkeys on the left side, and it'll take you to different areas. We'll go to this one first. So we're going to open it up, and you're going to see right off the bat, we have a couple things that are locked out. We cannot buy anything in the shop from the level 4 or level 5 because, again, we're only on level 3 on this chapter. So this village is only level 3, and to buy these things here, we got to get to level 5 and level 4 for those, etc., etc. So this is also why it's very important to try and get through all your story chapters. Don't skip anything if you don't want. I mean, you can stampede through and get everything to 3-star if you'd like, just to progress to the next chapter. That way you can get all your SSR gear, build up a nice PvP team, and then jump right into PvP. But you still want to make sure you go back and finish up all these chapters and all these quests, because they give you a lot of early game resources. I cannot stress that enough. Not to mention unlocking additional materials in these shops that you definitely want to be able to have access to. So definitely make sure you do that. Like I said, grab up all the quests you can, get your free gems from level 5ing these villages, and there you go, and then you're well on your way. So that's how the village works. That's why you should level up your villages. That's why you should do story. That's how you jump between different chapters of story. That's what the different areas on each story's map is for, and what you do with those. Let's go back into the actual world map for a moment as well. So you'll also notice that above all these areas, it shows you the farmable the farmable materials. So we got 2 cups there. We got what I like to call a rune, but people call it an orb as well. It's your sixth piece of gear. We also have some character evolution materials there. There's 3 of them. So you have a lot of different resources that you can grab from that. They all have their own drop rates depending on what stage you're doing. For example, let's just go into it real quick. Let me just show you what it looks like when you enter a stage. Alright, so when you enter a stage, you're going to have normal, hard, extreme, sometimes various different stages of one or the other difficulty. So it's not going to be just, not every stage of the game is just going to have one normal. It might have a normal, and then it has another normal, and then it goes to hard, you know what I mean? So some of them might have more than just 3 stages in it. And you'll see here that, you know, the CP is the recommended CP right here that you'll notice. That's your total team's power. So they recommend that you have at least 29,000. You can go up here and click the little, what is it, magnifying glass. Almost had a brain fart, guys. And then you can go down here and click the chest. You can see the event that's going on. That's what that is. Go down here to the question mark, and this will show you what the character details are of what the enemies you're going to be fighting. Here's the boss. The boss you're going to know is a green type unit. You can see it's his skills, what skills he's going to use. So this is very good information. You can also check this information in game as well, which will show in a moment. You can see here the drop rates for the certain rewards on this stage. 10% for those, 50% for those, 40% for these. So very, very cool. And then of course you can select your different characters. So since we're already here, let's talk about the character selection screen. So you have your team here. You can run 4 units at a time. You're going to have your sub unit and then your 3 main units, okay? And then you can also link characters that they link well with to them, which you can see here in the bottom, how this Meliodas is linked to my Estarossa. And it'll have like a 2 hands grabbing each other type of symbol, saying that those are link partners. Now, you don't have to have a link partner. You can just get base stats from certain characters. And we're going to do a video talking more about this in the future. We're going to be using a website, gcdatabase.com, that has all this information kind of put together, laid out very nicely. We'll go more into that because some of these characters can actually increase their actual ultimates by having characters that they link with, that they have a relationship with, which is very, very cool. And you'll know when they have that going on by the symbol right here that's shining. Right where I'm clicking, if you guys can see that on my Estarossa. And it'll also show the link again right here in the top right of their icons when you're selecting them. And I will tell you, the characters that link to your other characters, they will buff your stats, and they'll also increase your team CP, especially if you invest into that character as well by making that character, like, you know, of course, max level 80 in a UR, which is currently the highest you can go right now in a character in the game on the JP and Korean side, which no doubt will be the same thing for global. So doing that, you know, just not selecting the character and linking it up is not enough. If you want to make them even stronger and get more CP, because CP is important, because CP will allow you to go first. Because if your CP is actually lower than the recommended, the enemy will get to go first. They'll get the first turn instead of you getting the first turn. So you always want to make sure your CP is higher than the enemy so you get that first turn, which could be very important, especially if you're running a team that needs some setup or anything like that. Especially with a unit like Estarossa, for example, who likes to do counters. You want to set up his counter first turn. That way, by the time the enemy gets a turn, he can start doing his counters. So things like that, you definitely want to consider. We're going to go over the star levels, the characters, and all that stuff. And when we get done with all that, we're going to then go in and fight this stage so you guys can kind of see a little bit of what it looks like in game. You can also click up here if you'd like to make, 5 different teams if you want. I usually just have 1 or 2 teams. I don't really bother with it. And if you want the game to decide a team for you using, the best CP that it could possibly create, just click this button right here, and it'll just make you a team for you. Then over here, you can set up, you can give food and stuff like that if you'd like for a little added bonuses. And that's pretty much the character selection screen. Now, you're going to be doing the same type of screen for every time you build a team. For any mode. PvP, it's going to look like this. For boss fights, it's going to look like this. Any mode where you need to build a team, it's going to look like this. You also have your friends and random players down here that you can add to your team if you'd like to run them, especially if you are running stages that you feel are a little bit too strong for you and you need to bring someone who's already more established or very strong. It's always good to have strong friends, whale friends, if you will. That way you can take them in. Like, for example, I can grab this Elizabeth. I could swap her out with any of my other units if I'd like. Or I can go down here and let's grab this Escanor, for example, and then swap out Elizabeth. Boom. Now my team power went up to 117,000. All right. And you can even link him up as well with units like my Gother, for example. And boom. Because those linking units are very helpful for the ultimates. Like I said, they improve the units' ultimates. And some ultimates can even have a Fate ultimate, which is mostly, I think, just SSRs. SRs maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But some of them will even get additional bonus stats if they use a Fate ultimate. So lots of stuff there to take in, guys. You guys might have to pause the video multiple times to kind of like take in what I'm saying and then try it out yourselves in app. So it is pretty crazy, but it's all good. But before we go into the game again, I want to go ahead and just take a look at our characters. Now, I'll show you another way to get to this screen right here. So you saw what I just did when I was in my character, my team creation page. Basically, I just click and hold in. You can do that with your finger if you're on mobile, or if you're using a stencil, or of course, if you're on PC or Mac, you're going to be using a mouse. So this is the character development screen. This is where you're going to be doing all your fun stuff to build up your characters. Now, I'm going to show you another way to get in here. So let's go ahead and just back out of all this stuff. Let's go back to the boar hat, the bar. Just going back here for whatever. You don't have to go back here to access this panel. I just wanted to come back here. So down here at the bottom, you have the boar hat, basically your home, bottom left. Your quest, second one. Third one, this is your character. This is where you go to see your box, your inventory, all your different characters. The fourth one is where you go to summon, to go see all the banners. The fifth one is the shop, where you go to all the different various shops in the game. And the last one, of course, is your settings, your inventory, your friends list, all that other good stuff. I'm not going to go too much into this. This is pretty self-explanatory, guys. Every time you unlock a new character, you unlock a little bit of their character story or whatever. You can look at them here if you guys are into that kind of thing. If you want to relive the stories, go for it. This is your friends list page. This is where you're going to go and add new friends with their friend code. This is where you're going to accept people. This is where you're going to see who you've blocked, people you want to remove, all that good stuff. This is where you're going to go. You can also grab some friend points and stuff like that from here. Just a lot of it. You can even battle your friends, which is really cool. So that's the friends list, man. And then over here is your inventory. You're going to be in here a lot because you're going to have to keep clearing space. I do recommend, if you have to, early game, popping a few gems to increase your inventory space for both your inventory and your gear. By all means, do so. Every player has to do it at some point. So, you might as well just drop a few gems here and there to increase your space, because you will start getting to the point where you're going to have so much stuff farmed up and you're not using it as fast, but you're going to need it at some point. So you can't sack it off or sell it or anything. So you are going to need that additional space. Right now I got 160 in my box, and I think my equipment is 200. Yep, my equipment's up to 200. So this is where you can go and look at your equipment. You go in here, look at various resources. These chests here, these are what you're going to be using to sell to get your gold. You'll get these through various means every single day by farming them up, by doing events, by doing your dailies, buying them and exchanging them with event currencies during events. So lots of different ways to get those chests. These are currently an event item as well. These are like event tickets right now to fight the end battle boss right now. You also got your stamina, which I have 8 stamina pots right now. Your PvP chest, which you can use for gear and materials and stuff like that. Every week when it resets, they give you those, you know, for whatever ranking you're getting. These basically work like keys as well. I'll show you what those are used for. This is all your food and stuff you can look at. And then this is just all your various character resources to upgrade your characters. So you'll see all these things here. Various farmable resources. And these down here are used for gear. So I kind of just mix them together. But that is the inventory. Those are the main areas you're going to get. And this, of course, is the settings. You know, you better change all the settings the way you'd like to have them set up in game. So all that good stuff. And then these are all the various shops. So many different shops. This one is the gear shop, or it's the gear gacha technically. You get 1 for free per day. You also have, you know, if you guys are whales, you want to spend that moolah. You got that going on. This is if there's like some kind of like special deals going on. You can buy those. Sometimes they're giving you free rewards. So you'll have like a notification to come in here and pick up a free reward. Like, I believe it was like last week, we got like a full gear set that we were able to pick up in here. But you can see all the different various sales and stuff like that that they have going on. So, you know, those top 2 are mostly for whales. You have this here if you guys are looking to buy some costumes. Like I said, some of the costumes in the game are very, very good. Especially if you're looking to get a little bit of a stat boost and look really cool at the same time. This one, for example, is $19. But don't be afraid, guys. Not all costumes in the game cost money. A majority of them actually cost gems, which you can buy. So free-to-players can even get those. So these are going to be things that you're going to be focusing more or less on when you get the end game. Early game, you're probably not going to really be bothering with costumes. And then we have this shop down here, where you can buy various items with gems that you may need. Those are stamps. And this right here is the best shop in the game. This is the coin shop. This is where the magic happens. And I know we're kind of getting sidetracked. I got to go back to the character screen in a moment. But I wanted to get through all these real quick because these were going to take a little bit longer to explain. So you have like your event shop, friend shop, whatever you want to call it, there at the very end. You can get various rewards for trading those points in. These silver coins are when you actually have rare units that you pull that are dupes. You'll then get a rare coin that you can either use to convert to an additional skill up on their ultimates, which I don't really recommend, or you can trade them in for various rare rewards. Now, this shop might look a little bit different, actually probably a lot different than global, depending, because a lot of these units, obviously, that are in the shop, you can't get them on global yet. No way. But the concept is pretty much the same. It's just the stuff in the shop is going to be a bit different. This silver coins here, the rare ones that you get, you can actually go ahead down here and use those on stamina potions. I recommend that being really the main thing that you buy from the rare coin shop. SR coin shop, if you get SR dupes and they're units that you don't really feel that you need to level up their ultimates on, then you'd want to go ahead in here. Now, there's some really top tier units to get from the SR coin shop. That would be, for example, Red Hauser right here that I'm clicking on. Absolutely phenomenal PvE farming unit. And I mean phenomenal. Very good unit. That's one of the things I'd be jumping on. You also have the Red Arthur, which is really, really good. I would also say, where's she at? I don't know if she's in here still. I can't remember. I might have passed her up. But another strong unit to get in the coin shop would be like the Green Jericho. That's like a super nuker, but she might be actually under platinum. Let me take a quick peek here. I'm not seeing her. I can't remember. I could have sworn I saw her in the shop. But regardless, if she is in the shop at some point, she's amazing. She's amazing. But yeah, but in the Platinum or Rainbow, whatever you want to call these are SSR dupe coins. So this is the SSR coin shop. Now there's some really good units in here to pick up as well. Very strong units. For example, the Green Bon. You also have, there's some other various units. The Red Escanor is amazing. Red Galther is one of the best units in the entire game. The Green Merlin's pretty decent. The, I don't know if the red one is better than the blue one, perhaps. I'd have to go back and look at the tier list and see and look at their skill sets. But they also got a Red Demon Meliodas. But obviously, all these units will not be there day one. The units that should be there day one should be these three right here, though. The Green Merlin, the Green Bon, and the Red Gother. Red Gother is the one that I recommend going for ASAP. Get him first and foremost. He's absolutely busted early game, mid game, and even in late game, especially when Global comes out and a lot of these other units aren't out yet. He's going to be fantastic. So Red Gother, definitely go for him. Now I recommend buying him when he's discounted. Now they have these resources you'll see at the top of all these shops. These are discounted resources, and they will rotate out every so often. I would recommend buying like certain things when they're in the discount, because look, for example, this Red Hauser is 20. You would need 20 SR dupes, and if we bought him regularly, he would be 30. So you're saving basically 10 there. Definitely a big discount. So there you go. And if you guys are like really super late game and you have nothing else to really purchase with your SSR and SR coins, you could perhaps even go in here going for dupes and then use those dupes to enhance their ultimates if they're characters that you really want to max out on their ultimates. So that's the coin shop, guys. It's absolutely fantastic. That's all the other shops in the game. Let's go back down here to our characters. Let's go over here to our Estarossa. Let's talk about some of the things that's going on in here. Like I said, this is going to be a very long beginner guide video, so I hope you guys do enjoy, and I hope you guys got some popcorn and whatever going on, because god dang, this is a long video. So up here in the top left, you're going to see your character's rarity. They'll either be a rare, they'll be an SR, they'll be an SSR, or they'll now be a UR. You'll see there, of course, their level. 4 stars can go up to level 40. I'm sorry, playing the wrong game here. Rares can go to level 40. SRs can go... No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Rares can go to 30, I believe. SRs can go to 40. SSRs can go to 50. And URs can go to level 60 before you then have to limit break them. And then you also have like these awakening levels, these 6 stars. Right now you can see my current progress on my Estarossa is a 4-star. But when you finally max them out, it'll be 6-star. And what those give you, they give you various stat increases to your character. So it's very helpful to do those. Makes your character so much stronger. Then you have the character's type. Right now, there's 3 types in the entire game. There's green, there's red, and there's blue. I believe blue is speed or something like that. Green is vitality, and then red is strength. But nobody calls them by that. We just call them red, green, or blue. It's very simple. And if you guys couldn't tell, red is stronger than green. Just kind of like fire is stronger than earth. And then green is stronger than blue. Earth stronger than water. And then blue is stronger than red. Water stronger than fire. That's how I like to do it. I break it down by the elements. Pretty basic RPG stuff. And then you have your character's CP, total CP. You also have the race they belong to, like human, demon, fairy, giant, etc., etc. You have their attack, their defense, and their HP. So there's that. You can also look at their additional stats, like their chance to pierce, their resistance rates, their crit resistance, their crit rate, their crit damage, etc., etc. Go ahead and just lower that down. And then you have their relationship, which this is where you're going to use food and certain other items to go ahead and level this bar all the way up, and you get various rewards. Every character gives you, 1 gem. And then up here, we get a costume item, so that you can equip to your character. You can make your characters look that's what's very cool about Grand Cross. Everybody's character can look very different, because you can actually give them a different hairstyle or a different hat or helmet. You can give them different clothes, and you can give them different looking weapons. So using those 3 different costume formats, everybody's character, if they're at end game, they could look a little bit different than the character next to them. Even though if they're using the same character, they're gonna look different. Really, really cool. I like it. I like diversity. And then you have your character's skill cards. Obviously, every character has 3 skills. They have a skill 1 and a skill 2, and their ultimate. And of course, every skill besides ultimates can actually rank up to 3 in-game during gameplay, which I'll show you guys all about that. You can even look at the the differences in stats for all 3 ranks: rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. I'll show you guys how to make those in game, and then again for the skill 2 as well, and then their ultimate. And then you can see my ultimate for Master Rose is level 2 because I pulled 1 dupe of him and I fed it in. But like I said, some units you will not feed dupes into because you're going to actually use those dupes in the coin shop to go get strong units. So sometimes you don't want to use those dupes on certain SSRs that you pull. So be very careful. Make sure it's a character that you really, really want to invest into. Now, every character also gets a passive. You get your passives unlocked when your character's power is at 16,000. Which basically means you're going to have to get them to a UR at minimum and then invest a little bit into them with gear and even maybe level them up to get their power to 16,000. Obviously, gear helps you jumpstart that really quick. So if you got good gear, throw that on a character, get it to 16,000, jump in and do the little one-on-one fight for your passive, and then boom, now you have your passive unlocked. Now, a unit like Esterosa also has a 10 commandment. That's what this is. So this isn't going to be something global players need to worry about right now for at least a little while. So that is this page. You can also make them your leader if you want to do that. Make them like your main boy. So that's why he's got the crown chilling up there on the right side. You can go to another unit and do that as well if you'd like. Whew. All right. So now bottom here. This is where you feed in your EXP potions to level your character up. Pretty simple stuff. I recommend using your higher tier stuff first because it's going to be cheaper on gold. You could literally take a character from level 1 to like 40 for like 3,000 gold, for example. Or if you use a bunch of the little ones first, you'll slowly go up and the price of gold will keep adding up and adding up and adding up and adding up. So you're wasting a lot of gold doing that. So just pay attention to that. Try to use your higher tier stuff on your level 1 characters to get them leveled up a big chunk first, and then start using your lower tier potions. Now this is where you basically limit break your character to get them to go from like level 60 to 65. When you get them to a UR from 65 to 70 all the way up to max level 80. This is where you awaken them. This is where you get your stars. And this is where you're going to be farming up whatever materials that they say that they list on the bottom. It'll show you what's being increased here. For example, we're getting 3,500 more HP and 3% more HP, which is very fantastic. And then the last one will be, additional attack, defense, and I forget what this kanji's for. Probably one of my substats. But and then it shows you how much gold you're going to need as well. You can obviously purchase Full Awakening for $26.92, which I don't recommend doing unless you're a mega whale. Otherwise, you're free to play. Don't do that, guys. Just farm this stuff up. It may take you some time. Don't worry about it. All in good time, guys. All in good time. So that's how you get your star levels up for your characters. I recommend getting your, when you first start on Global, guys, I recommend getting all your characters up to at least 3 stars, your core team, your core 4 to 5 units. That way, they have a nice stat boost. And getting up to 3-star isn't very hard because a lot of the resources you can get fairly easily. It's when you get to 4-star and beyond, it starts getting a little bit more challenging because now you got to start finding a little bit more higher end type content, and it takes a little bit more stamina, and the drop rates somewhat could work against you as well. So, and now we have the ultimate upgrade. This, we're going to upgrade your ultimates by feeding in dupes, which you can see here. I don't have a dupe of an Esterosa, so I can't get it to level 3, and that's pretty much it. And you can take it all the way up to level 6, which means you're going to need 5 dupes. Alright, but like I said, not every character you want to invest a dupe into, so keep that in mind. And now you have your gear, and I'm going to make a whole video dedicated to just gear and what to do with gear and how to understand gear and all that stuff, so I'm not going to dive too much into it here. But basically, this is where you equip your gear. You're going to get most of your stats from the left side and less stats on the right side. So that's why a lot of people like to use their higher tier gear on the left and lower tier stuff on the right. We're going to talk about different types of gear sets, and how you get different bonuses. For example, 4 pieces of attack gear, which you can see I have, will give you 20% more attack. So stuff like that. But we're going to dive more into that in another video. It'll be a whole video dedicated to gear, so don't worry. And then this is where we can go to equip different costumes. When you get your character, like say your character is an SR and you get them to an SSR, you're going to unlock their SSR base costume. And if you get them to a UR, you're going to unlock their base UR costume. And they have various things that they, they give you. So you can see here, that's his SSR base, and that's his UR base, which is very cool. So you guys can see that there. We're not going to do that. Let's get out of that. You can upgrade the costume. And then you can also do the same thing here with equipment. Like I said, you got all these different equipments here that you can make them just cosmetic stuff that gives you also stat increases. And same thing here for the hair. That's what I like to call it. You know, you can wear a mask, helmet, hat, or just a new hairstyle, which he looks really old now. So that's what that is, guys. That's pretty much everything there is to talk about on this page. Now, I believe the last major couple things we need to talk about is the PvP and where you farm up some of your daily stuff that you're going to let your game grind for while you're asleep, and then a little bit about in-game gameplay. And then a lot of the other stuff is going to be more for end-game, which we'll talk about in various other videos like boss fights and stuff like that. We'll talk about those in other videos because this video is already super long. But let's go back here to the world map. And then down here in the bottom right, you're going to see these little cross sword shields. This is where you access a lot of the goodies. This is where you're going to be farming a lot of stuff while you're asleep. This is what I like to call the sleep mode. So you're going to go in here, outside of PvP, of course. But you got boss fights. You've got SP and equipment. This is going to be the main ones you're going to be handling. SP mostly because SP is basically where you're going to go and farm up your resources for leveling up and increasing your character, basically making them better. So you have this top stage here that I believe every 8 hours one of these keys will be replenished. So when you get it up to, so make sure this never is at 5 out of 5. If it is up to 5 out of 5, at least do 1 or 2 runs. And I would personally recommend doing the middle one because the middle one here gives you the chest which you can sell for gold. And I'm sorry, but the books and the stamina potions, these are a lot easier to get. These are not so easy to get. So I would recommend always using your 5 keys on these stages alone to get more gold so you can sell those. Now, I already made a video on the channel talking about how to get rich as well, utilizing books too. So you guys can go check that video out. But if you click this little arrow here, you can go to the red boss, you can go to the blue boss, and etc, etc. So if you have a really strong green team, you'd want to farm the blue stage. So you'd go, oops, sorry, rip, went a little bit ahead of myself, jumped the gun a bit there. So if you have a really strong, like, green team, for example, you want to fight the blue stage. And both the boss for the AP potion and the blue books are going to be a boss that is a blue type. So if you have a lot of green units, you're going to do very well there. And down here, again, this is going to use keys. You can see these keys right here. They replenish every so often. You can have a max of 10 at the moment. So never let that get to 10 and stay there. Always use a few of these. And this one is going to be one of those areas where you're going to probably, after playing a week, you're going to be able to farm the latest stage. And it's going to be helpful because it drops a lot of goodies. All these chests, these SSR chests, these are what you need. Again, more gold. That's what you want. And that's the event going on. You can see the boss is blue as well. So if you have a strong green team, boom. Because everything's blue. And after you get this bar filled up, after doing so many farm attempts, you're going to be guaranteed that drop. So keep that in mind too. Some stages will have those on the top there. Like if we go to stamina potion, I'm at 91.4%. So if I keep farming up a little bit, I'm going to be guaranteed to get this drop, which gives you 37,500 EXP. And the top one in this stage is again 68,000. And of course, you're going to notice the boss again is going to be blue because they're all going to be blue. Like I said, if you have a strong green team, go to blue. If you have a strong blue team, do red. If you have a strong red team, do green, etc, etc. Eventually, you're going to have a strong all 3 of those, and then you're just going to be whatever is up to you. And like I said, like we said earlier in the video, you can convert your blue books to red or red to green, vice versa. Very cool stuff, right? Very cool stuff. So that's all you guys have to do with that. But now let's go ahead and do some gameplay so we can end this crazy video that hopefully has been a lot of help to you guys. We still have so many more guides to do where we're going to be breaking down certain elements in great detail, like equipment, for example. That's going to be a video itself. What units to re-roll for, that's going to be a video itself. Tier list, a video itself. All kinds of stuff coming here to the channel, guys. So make sure at this moment, if you're still watching this video, this is a long one, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try to get 100 on this video. Don't forget to comment below if you guys got a lot of help from this, helpful tips as well. And if you guys are going to be playing, I hope you guys are enjoying, because by the time a lot of you see this, the game might already be out. I don't know, but I cannot wait. Global release, guys. The hype is real. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tick notifications. All right, so let's go ahead and go into an easy boss fight just so it doesn't take too long. So, you know, obviously we're going to be fighting this boss. I don't even know what boss we even clicked. I don't know if we're in red, blue, or green right now. I have no idea. I got lost in space, man. All right. So we're going to make sure that auto is turned off so I can explain everything. Okay. So right up here, right off the bat, top right, you got 2x speed. Always have that turned on unless you guys really like to see the animations and all the gameplay in slow-mo and normal mode, I guess. The button all the way over here to the left is the auto feature. This is basically, and I don't mean auto like the one next to it, but I mean like auto farming, where you'll be letting this play overnight while you're asleep, either on your mobile device or an emulator. What this is going to allow you to do is it's going to let you set up a filter, which I'll show you guys how to do that too when we get out of this fight. And it'll set up a filter which will allow you to farm until you're either out of stamina potions, or maybe you only want to do 10 runs because you're farming a certain item and you got to go do something, like you got to go wash dishes or go, go run to the store for an hour or something. So you don't want it to blow all your stamina in that stage, but you want it to farm enough to complete maybe a mission, for example, or you're trying to farm a certain material. You can set that all up in the filter, which is very cool, and then it'll just farm until it's over. And it's simple. It's very cool. So a lot of people are going to utilize that. Obviously, if I click auto, the game will play auto. Now there's 3 auto modes. There's balance, attack, and defense, which you can set up in your game settings, or you can just go up here to the pause menu and go in here and set it up that way as well through here, which I believe those settings are, yep, the last one right down here. This would be your attack, defense, and balance. So the AI will be more likely to use certain cards, if you will. You'll notice at the top of your cards, you got like a green health icon. That means that's a heal or a cleanse skill. You have an attack icon, which means it's an attack skill. You will see a green shield, which will be like a stance or some kind of defensive, skill. You'll have ones that are just a regular skull. Those will be just pure debuffs. And if they're a skull that's red, that means it's an attack and debuff. And then if it's blue, it's a buff. So hopefully that explains all those to you guys there. You're always going to have 7 cards in your hand if you have a full team of 3 on the field. After you start losing people, let's say you're down to like 2, you're not going to no longer always have 7 in your hand, unfortunately. And what happens is these cards come in randomly and they drop down and they combine with each other if they're next to each other. And for example, if we were to, actually we don't, yes we do. If I grab this one and drag it over to combine those, I actually lose an attack. So keep that in mind. You want to be very strategic with it. But we did rank it up from 1 to 2. Now, this particular skill, for example, at rank 1, it's only an AoE cleanse. But if we rank it up to 2, it's an AoE cleanse and a heal. So you definitely want to make sure you know what your skills are when you go into battle. That way you can set up proper strategy so you don't make any misplays. So we don't want that. And unfortunately, we'd want to move it down here because now we have a high chance of our next cards rolling into this not being anything that'll break down. Because the best case scenario is you get cards that roll in and they all combine and break down for you, so you don't have to waste an attack doing it yourself. If you're in like a PvP mode, for example, right now, and you're playing PvP, there would actually be a timer that you would have to start using your skills, so you're going to have to be obviously a lot more quicker than what we're doing right now. When you're in PvE battles, you're going to see up here, it'll tell you how many enemies are left on top of the ones that are already on the field. So you can see there's still one more to go. It'll show you up here the gold you've earned in the fight, and you'll have like little chests or something like that showing you any kind of drops that you might have got as well. You'll know when you're on the boss stage because it'll actually show your CP versus the boss's CP show up on the screen. And again, whoever CP is higher goes first, and that applies to PvP as well. So keep that in mind. And we're going to make a whole video about PvP too. That's why I'm not really dragging it on too much in this video. And over here you can see, like we showed earlier, you can see right there, red is stronger than, red is stronger than green, green is stronger than blue, blue is stronger than red, and it even shows you the amount of additional damage you take and receive depending on your type advantage or disadvantage, or if you're just neutral, it doesn't do anything, I don't believe. So there is that. We also can turn our skills on and our ultimate skills on and off unless you want to skip them, but that's a quality of life feature that they added recently, so I don't know if that's going to be in global or not at release. I hope it is because it's very helpful, but you can also turn that stuff off in your settings as well. So I think we've established all that. Now if you look at the cards above your enemy, it's showing you the next card they're going to use. So all three of these enemies are going to be using their attack cards next. And if you want to go ahead and click what these enemies can do, just click and hold on them, and it shows up this cool little screen here. It shows what their HP is, it shows what their attack and defense, stuff like that is. It shows you what their skills are. So since they're going to be using an attack skill next, it's either going to be this or this. It's either going to be a rank 1 or a rank 2. They don't have a rank 3 on this particular stage. Shows you what their typing is, shows you that they're level 50, they're a blue, what their race is, the character's motto itself, obviously, and then you can even click over and look at the other enemies as well. And you're gonna know when your enemy is gonna have their ultimate ready to go because you see these little yellow circles. When they're all at 5 and they have like a cool little aura effect around them, including your own characters, that's when you know you're gonna get your ultimate. Now, how ultimates work for your character when it comes to cards, the game is going to check when it's the start of your turn if you have an ultimate ready. If so, it's going to grab an ultimate card and slide it in. So that will take up one of your card slots that are going to be coming in to equal up to your total of 7 at the start of every fight if you have a full team of 3 on the field. Now, if you lose one of your heroes, your sub that you brought in as your 4th unit, they'll take that unit's place. So that's how your sub will come in if one of your starting 3 dies. Also, to note, if your sub has a passive, that passive will still be applied to the rest of your team, even if they're still not in the fight yet, if they're still just sitting there on the bench, if you will, metaphorically, but their passive will still take effect. So if you have a Kane, for example, and you're in raids, his 10% attack up for your whole team will still be applied, even if he's not actually in the fight yet. So that's kind of, something that you want to take into consideration with passives running them on your bench. But let's go ahead and show you some attacks here. So for example, you can actually select which targets you want per attack. So for our starting attack, we'll go ahead and debuff, and then we'll keep it on the same target for our second attack, and then we'll just go ahead and use our Estarossa. And now we're going to go ahead and click auto and let this finish up since we've pretty much explained everything we need to. Whew, it's been a long video, guys, and I do appreciate y'all hanging out. I knew this was going to be a long video. We're at 53.5 minutes. We're not quite at the hour mark yet, so we're still nowhere near as high as my last beginner guide video, which I believe was like almost 90 minutes. I think what's really going to be saving this video a lot of time, though, is we will be, of course, breaking down some of the more intricate levels of the game in their own personal videos. So that will help a lot. But I feel like we're going to get ready to use our ultimate here with our king, which is an AoE. Ain't gonna really matter much because we only got one target left, but there you go. All right, bada bing, bada boom, and now it's boss time. If you guys are wrestling fans, you probably hate hearing that because I'm sure you know what I'm referencing. All right, so we're gonna be taking on the boss now. As you saw there, that little flash on the screen showed our CP versus the enemy CP. If your CP is higher, again, you will go first. If theirs is higher, they get to go first. And for a unit, like I said, like if you're running like Green Meliodas, which everybody should have because you should be re-rolling for him, which we're going to talk about in another video, probably a video that I'm going to release probably later today, you want to make sure that you have the first turn setup because you want to get his counters ready to go, or your your green Estarossa. You want to get those counters set up. Alright, so one more enemy left to take down. And then I'll show you guys really quick how to access the auto farming filter before you jump into a fight. And then that should do it. And then we're going to make a video for PvP later down the road. We're going to be making an equipment guide video. Again, still we have a reroll guide to come, and what to reroll for, plus a global tier list. So there you guys go. And there we go. We got our guaranteed drop because of the bar we filled up for 100%. This will show you your quests as well. Also, I forgot one thing in quests I should show you guys really quick. It's just a little tip for you guys in case some of you get a little bit lost. On Global, you should be fine because you can read everything, but on JP, it was just a helpful tip for me, so I'm going to share it with you guys as well. But anyways, when you go into a stage here, right down here is actually where the filter is. So there you guys go. And of course, it'll be in English, so it'll be a lot easier for you guys to navigate through it, but it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple to understand. So that's where you guys do that, and then you can just click where it says off, click on, and then it'll just auto it from there as well, or you can do it from in-game where we showed you. But let me get out of this really quick. I want to show you guys something with quest. So quest, when you go to do a quest real quick, let's just go jump to a quest in one of these villages. So it's just gonna bounce us right to where we need to go. Now, there's a lot of different areas in here, but sometimes you're like, okay, wait, I've been in here 100 times. Why does it still say I have a quest here? I don't know which I gotta beat. You'll see this little golden arrow underneath of it, and it'll tell you that you need to beat it like 1 time or 3 times or 5 times or 8 times. So for example, for this stage, to complete this mission, I gotta beat this stage 8 times. And if you've already cleared the stage once, like you've already beat that stage once and you're not sure if you did or not, it'll say clear in the left side there, which you can see there, little blue logo. But yeah, look for the little gold there. And sometimes you have 2 quests in one area, so you click the gold arrow twice and scroll over and see what you have to do. So just a little tip there for you guys, but that is it for me. I hope you guys all enjoyed the ultimate beginner guide for you know, Grand Cross. Global is coming literally within a day or less perhaps at this time. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully this video was very helpful. If it was, definitely smash that like button, tick notifications, subscribe if you're new to the channel for more Grand Cross content. Until next time, have an awesome day wherever you guys and gals are in the big old world. As always, peace.